So the women's liberation movement has, I guess, a couple of different starting points. Certainly the release of Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, which was published in 1963, really started conversations, maybe kitchen table conversations between women and their friends about whether or not they were satisfied being housewives. This is mostly middle-class women and white women. Betty Friedan used the enthusiasm that came from that book and those conversations to create the National Organization for Women. The grassroots movement emerged out of the civil rights movement. Then start to have conversations across these different organizations, and really out of those experiences that these young college women are having emerges the women's liberation movement. And cultural and social events that really fueled the women's liberation movement would be, first of all, the sexual revolution. So that began in about 1960 when the FDA approved the birth control pill, and this made it possible for young women and men to have relationships, and they didn't have to be married in order to have these kinds of sexual relationships. And so that really got young people thinking that maybe there would be a different kind of future for women besides marriage. Something else that was also happening after World War II is that more women are going to college. Key problems that women wanted to solve. So the biggest problems that they faced were sex discrimination in employment, really low pay. So women wanted and needed equal pay for equal work. So something like in 1963, for example, women were paid actually 63 cents on the male dollar. And so the need for birth control and access to safe abortions. Women's liberation is very much wanted women to fulfill all of the opportunities possible for them and to have more opportunities. And certainly there have been a number of significant successes. Roe v. Wade in about 1973 granted women legal protection for abortion. That was important. Title IX is something else that's important. So for a lot of college students and people beyond college, the word feminist is a bad word. The word feminist brings up ideas of women who hate men and women who don't believe that men should have all of the opportunities that they have, and that in fact women should somehow be superior. In truth, feminism means that men and women ought to have simply equal opportunities in all areas, and that women ought to be allowed to live up to their full human potential. I think that it's too easy today for different groups of people to discount feminism, to say, oh, women have everything they need, they have the right to vote, and they've got women in charge of companies. We have women in charge of Facebook and all these things. What more could women want when, of course, the reality is that women do not enjoy equality with men, and there's still a great deal of sexism that women have to contend with. But in fact, feminism simply, if we're going to be kind of trite about it, I guess, or simple about it, feminism is just this radical idea that women are human beings, and they're full human beings just like men. And as a result, women and men should be proud to say that they are feminists, should be proud of the history of women's liberation in this country, and absolutely should not allow anyone to say that there's anything wrong with being a feminist.